Hello and welcome back to West Brom Fan TV. Now, finally calmed myself down after that horrible Luton game, which we yet again failed to get a result. But saying that, time for predictions. Another game week. So many games. Albion's exhausting me at the moment, but I do love it. Anyways, let's get straight into it with the first set of games, the Tuesday night games with Bristol City starting us off against Sheffield United. Now, Bristol have been in some decent form, big win against PNE 3-1. It seems at the minute that anyone around mid-table can sneak near the playoffs and sneak in the playoffs. Just people aren't capitalising on it really, and the teams that are down the bottom and are working their way up. Saying that, Bristol, like I said, have been really good. Seem like a rejuvenated side. Sheffield United, they've been consistent, I guess. They're still in the playoffs. Think they're probably going to stay there, to be honest. I can't see them going to automatically, but certainly playoffs. So what will the score be? A rejuvenated side against a side which is consistent and high quality. We'll go for a 2-2 draw. Next up is Oxford United taking on Hull. Now, Oxford suffered their first defeat at home of the season against Swansea City, 2-1. Dane Scarlett was on the score sheet yet again for Oxford, so they have got a source of goals. They just can't get enough of them, I guess, to get a win. Hull on the other side, disappointing 1-1 draw against a very, very poor Portsmouth side. I think that both teams obviously looking to bounce back and get back to winning ways. I don't think Oxford have won in ages, to be honest. They've drew quite a lot of games before that defeat to Swansea. And I can't see them get any luck here. I think that loss will really knock them because they hadn't lost at home all season. So yeah, I can see Hull being the team to win 1-0. Next up, QPR taking on Middlesbrough. Now it's a big point for QPR. That Sunderland were down to 10 men. Saying that, they've still got to get a result out of it, and they got a 0-0 draw, which is decent. They might be disappointed that they didn't win that. Beans, like I said, they were down to 10 men most of the game, Sunderland, but still, a point's a point, and points are valuable when you're down there. Middlesbrough on the other hand, I big them up, but they just can't seem to get that final push into the playoff places and knock teams like West Brom and Blackburn out of it. But yet again, they haven't capitalised. They got battered, to be honest, by Cov. So score prediction, what I'm going to say for this one, I want to say QPR 2, Middlesbrough 0. It's a long way down to go, and I think QPR are surely going to get something at some point. And with Middlesbrough being on a bit of a rocky patch of form, why not here? Next up, Sheffield Wednesday taking on Norwich. Now, Sheffield Wednesday took part in the game of the week, I'd say on Saturday, a 6-2 defeat against Watford. Lots and lots of goals. One that I didn't think would happen. I thought Sheffield Wednesday would convincingly win that, but no. Norwich, on the other hand, a bitter defeat to Cardiff, losing 2-1. Borja scored, though, yet again. And this was no ordinary defeat for Norwich against Cardiff. It was very late. They scored a goal in the 89th and the 93rd minute to crush Norwich to a crippling defeat. Anyways, what do I think is going to happen in this game? I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 1, Borja again, I reckon. That guy scores for fun. Next up is a bit of a southern derby. I wouldn't really say derby. It's derby-ish. They're both on the south coast, so yeah. Plymouth take on Portsmouth, two teams that have been pretty poor lately and are grappling to get any result they can, really. So this will be an interesting game, I think. And I think it's got a draw written all over it. Two poor teams, 1-1 draw. Next up, Swansea taking on Watford. Now, Swansea have been quite a surprise package, really. They're flying up the table again, and they're sniffing around the playoff places. The team are taking on Watford have been in good form as well. I mean, a great result against Sheffield Wednesday. Bio scoring 4 of the goals. What a player. Anyway, saying that, which of the two teams will capitalise on this momentum and cement themselves in the playoffs? I think Swansea will. Swansea 2, Watford 0. Next up is a trip to Ewood Park for the Stokies as they take on Blackburn Rovers. Now, Blackburn have been pretty dull. I think they lost again at the weekend. Stoke got a big 2-1 win. A crazy own goal that they conceded. but it managed to not impact them too much. This is the second of the Wednesday games, by the way. The game I did before was a Wednesday game as well. So yeah, two teams that are inconsistent at the moment. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. It's got to be one. Next up is Coventry City taking on Derby. Little bit of rivalry between the two, nothing massive, but it has kicked off in the past between these two. They've got a bit of bad blood between them. Cov, massive win on Saturday against Middlesbrough. It seems the wheels are back on track for City. And with how teams are doing above them, it wouldn't surprise me if they skyrocket up the table now. I have been a jinx for Cov fans throughout the season. I hope I'm not going to jinx you again, but I'm going to say 3-0 Coventry. I did talk about Derby's previous game in the prediction before. They lost 2-1 to Stoke, but they never do well on the road. So, yeah, I'd say 3-0 Cov. The momentum's going to continue. Next up is a trip to the Den, a tasty, tasty game. Would you say it's a derby? Probably not. More of a rivalry than a derby, but still a tasty encounter. Plenty of police at this one as Millwall take on Leeds United. Now, Millwall have been pretty surprising, a run of 1-0 wins, and look where they are now. They're sniffing the playoff places. It's a shame that they've taken on Leeds at this time, because if they had an easier game, I'm sure they'd have been in the playoff places for next weekend's round of matches. But yeah, they've been playing the Millwall way, and this how Millwall should play. 1-0 wins defensively, fantastic, and a big tall centre back heading in the winner. That was the story of last weekend. Leeds on the other hand have just been smashing teams out of the park. To be honest, they're really impressive. They've got too much quality for this league. To be honest, I think if there's one team that I'd put £100 on going up right now, I'd put it on Leeds. They look brilliant. So yeah, there's obviously a bit more pressure in this game because it does mean a lot to the fans. But still, I think they've got way too much quality for Millwall. Millwall 1, Leeds United 3. Next up is a trip to Kenilworth Road, the ground that I visited on last Friday. What did I think of Luton? Shit, no. I thought that they were pretty decent. I guess they're like Millwall. They've got a set style. They've got tall strikers. They love to hoof a ball forward, hold it up, and I guess use players like Chong to play around them. These big old up strikers they've got. And they got a point out of us. Probably should have won it, to be fair. They looked the much better side. They did hit the bar late on as well. Cardiff, they don't have the peckers up. I know, interesting choice of words from me there. But you get where I'm coming from. A big win, like I mentioned, against Norwich. Very, very late on. Goals from Robinson and O'Dowd. Robinson obviously being a former Albion man. But saying that, Kenilworth Road's a tough place to go. Will they be able to deal with the hoofball? No, I don't think they will. I'm going to say 2-1 Luton. They're going to get back on track this midweek game. Next up, the final of the Wednesday games is Preston and North End take on Sunderland. Now, Preston suffered a 3-1 defeat against Bristol. Obviously, that's a tough game at the minute because Bristol are flying. Sunderland getting a point against QPR. Obviously, not what they ideally wanted, but still points are points. And they are top of the table for a reason. And they do usually find that Deepdale is a happy hunting ground for them. And I can see that continuing. I'm going to go for Preston North End 0, Sunderland 2. And the final one, on a Thursday, bloody football on a Thursday. Who do you think we are? We're not the Europa League. This is rubbish. But anyways, I'm going to predict the game anyways. Thursday night action for West Brom as we take on Burnley. Shocking from Sky, a bloody Thursday. Shocking. Anyways, I'll carry on. We haven't been able to score for Toffee in general, but at home we're even worse. We're still in the playoffs though. Luton was disappointing, very disappointing, because like I mentioned in my little rant at the end of the Luton game, we seem to just be throwing results away at the minute in games that we should really be winning. Like Cardiff, like Millwall, obviously Luton, Oxford, the list goes on. And Millwall, the list goes on. So many games that we should have nicked and won. Because the standard in this league this season is shocking. And I think we're certainly top 5 quality with the players we've got. I don't want to sound like a big head egotistical idiot who, thinks we should have the league handed to us on a plate. But I think we have the quality to do it. We just haven't. We're taking on Burnley, who got Millwall on Sunday. New word in the dictionary, Millwall. Saying that, they've been pretty impressive, Burnley. They're in 4th place for a reason. They've got some exciting, tricky wingers and a decent manager in Scott Parker. Saying that, I'm an Albion fan and I'm biased. So yeah, if this is your first time watching the channel, that is usually a lie. I'm usually very pessimistic, but I don't know why. It's the Albion way. We've been dross, so we'll probably get a result here, won't we? And we'll look back on them games we threw away and think, how the bloody hell have we not won them? West Bromwich Albion 2, Millwall, Burnley 0. Geez, get my teams wrong now as well. So, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most importantly, up the Albion, calling you baggies.